No matter what time of the day you're at, no matter what point of the week you're at, if you want change, start now. I'm going to argue that the biggest myth is that the 1st of January is the perfect time for change. I want you to think of your journey just like you were driving in a car on your way to your destination. Listen in and let it land. The best version of you is... Hello and welcome back to another episode of the In Her Power podcast. If you guys are watching us or listening to us in real time, happy Monday and happy middle of March. At the time of recording, it is Friday the 14th. And to be completely honest, I'm a little bit shocked. I swear I just made my 2025 vision board and now we're in the depths of the year. Pretty much. We do need to talk about the fact that it is March though, because I need to confess something. If you've watched my previous YouTube videos, if you've listened to the most recent podcast episode, you will know 2025 did not start off very, very well for me, okay? If you haven't heard this story, I will wrap it up very simply and quickly for you. January, I did not get a single day off pretty much the entire month. I was prepping for the launch of the Future You journals. I traveled a lot for work in February. Then I went to Japan. Then in Japan, I got gastro. Then came home from Japan, I got tonsillitis. And that brings us up to pretty much the 1st of March. And it's only now in the 3rd month in March that I really feel like I'm ready for 2025. I'm scared because I have had, almost 3 months to really get into the swing of things, and I haven't. I've tried. Girl has tried. Let me tell you that much. But I'm not going to lie to you, I've been a little bit unsuccessful. There was illness, there was travel, there was stopping and starting with the routine, which, by the way, guys, I need to reiterate before this episode gets on any further. This is life, and this is how sometimes it actually needs to be. She's an adaptable queen. Don't love change, but she's an adaptable queen. And it has gotten us up to this point where I've been able to say, you know what? Haven't felt the best in 2025 so far, but I'm taking control once again, and we're getting back on the bandwagon. So if you have lost a little bit of momentum with your 2025 goals, so this is group A, maybe you're group B and you are on track with your goals, but you've just come here for a little bit of a pep talk. Or group C, you have just been through the depths of the shit in 2025 so far, like myself, and you are ready to get back on track without the overwhelm. This episode is for you. If you can identify with any one of those 3 groups, this episode is for you. So I found this quote on Instagram the other day, which actually prompted this episode because I thought to myself, wow, this quote really spoke to me. I wonder how many other people are feeling like this in March. So I'm going to read the quote off my laptop. It says, start in March, start on Wednesday, start in your 40s, start at 3:49 p.m., start late, just start. And I love this quote because essentially, in a nutshell, it's saying no matter what stage of life you're at, no matter what time of the day you're at, no matter what point of the week you're at, if you want change, start now. Do not wait for Monday, a new month, the perfect age, till you're married, till you have X, Y, and Z. Start now. We do not have to wait for a specific time. I'm going to argue that the biggest myth is that the 1st of January is the perfect time for change. And it kind of goes against what I preached at the end of last year, because up until pretty much 2025, I was a 1st of January girly, and I was able to stick to the things I said I was going to do from the 1st of January onwards. I was one of those people that could do it. This year, I flipped that concept, not on purpose, accidentally, but that concept was flipped on its head. A past version of Beck would have struggled with what's happened in 2025 so far, but I haven't. Of course, it's been annoying. Of course, it's been uncomfy and inconvenient, and there were some things that I thought I would obtain and achieve in Q1, but I haven't, and I'm okay with that for almost the first time in my life. So I want to remind you that you can start again at any point in time. And when I say start again, I don't mean go back to square one. What I mean by this is restart with where you're at right now. I want you to consider your journey towards whatever it is you're working towards, a set goal, an end destination, your future self, whatever it is. I want you to consider this journey just like you driving in a car. If you broke down or you stalled or you had to stop at a red light, you would not stop and think to yourself, oh, I've stopped. I've got to go back home and start the journey again. I want you to think of your journey, your personal development journey, your elevation journey, your self-improvement journey, just like you were driving in a car on your way to your destination. You were traveling there, and of course there's going to be red lights. Of course you're going to have to pull over and get fuel. That doesn't mean that you have to go home every single time and start again. you start again in the exact position where you stopped. And I think it's also really important to reiterate that sometimes when we put this pressure on us to stick to the plan so rigidly and perfectly, we're almost setting ourselves up to let ourselves down, because life happens. I got sick times 2, gastro, tonsillitis. I traveled, travel opportunities for work came up. I had to press pause on my personal training, and I had to press pause on my routine and eating to the exact meal plan. I couldn't do that in a foreign country. I think we need to change our mindset ever so slightly coming into 2025, and I will be the first to admit I'm guilty for this. I love to stick to a rigid plan sometimes. That's how my brain works. I love the black and white of routine and structure. But if we can make an effort to shift our mindset from the plan has to be perfect to I get to start fresh every day, I get to restart my engine, and this is the fresh start, this is part of the plan, the happier and more flowy we are going to feel. I encourage you, if you are someone that needs a bit of a reset, a bit of a refresh with your goals, maybe you have stuck to them, but you can feel the novelty starting to wear off. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm starting to lose a little bit of discipline. I'm not feeling it anymore. This is what I want you to do. Or if you are like me and you have just well and truly fell off the bandwagon for probably things out of your control, this is also for you. We're going to do a little bit of a reset, a March reset. And what I mean by that, it's more of an audit, if you will. There's 3 questions I want you to ask yourself right now. Answer them in your head. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, take them away after the episode's done and jot them down and riff on them and audit them, okay? Question number 1 is, what is actually working really well right now? What is feeling good? Maybe I have stuck to a lot of things. Maybe there's parts of my routine that feel really good and that's serving me. Maybe I am going to bed really early and that's working really well for me. Maybe I'm showing up in X, Y, and Z in work and I'm seeing progress in that element of my life. Identify the things that are doing well. Then ask yourself, what's not? What's not working? What is not feeling good for me? For myself, ever since I came back from Japan, my morning routine has been in an absolute shambles. And I'm the person that once my morning routine is nailed, I feel productive and efficient and flowy for the remainder of the day. So because my morning routine was out of whack, so was my work routine, so was my lunchtime, so was my fitness routine. Where is my fitness routine going to fit into? It's typically my morning routine. When that's out of whack, it's a domino effect. And then the last question is, what needs adjusting? What do we need to improve upon, elevate? What do we need to shift or juggle around? We need to be focusing on those 3 things. It is not overwhelming if you can break it down. What's working well, what's not, and how can we fix this? What can we adjust? So that is your 3 questions. And if you want to take this a step further, I have a really powerful journaling prompt for you. It is super simple. I would recommend that you either pause this episode now or take it away when it's done and write in your journal, what would the most aligned version of me focus on right now? So if you were your biggest, best version of future you right now, what would their first baby step be? And I think the power of utilizing your future self in reflective journaling is that that person is already you. The only difference between that person and who you are right now is work and time. They have the exact same brain. They are the exact same person, just a little bit later down the track and a little bit refined through work. So that person is already you. What you need to excel and exceed and move forward here is already within you. You just need to drop in and pay attention. You probably know what you need to do. You probably know what your first baby step is, but there's probably so many things that have come up. Oh, I need to fix my morning routine, my fitness routine. Oh my God, I need to eat better. I need to drink more water. I need to make my bed. Stop. What is the first baby step that is going to be the first needle moving thing you need to do to completely reset and continue on for 2025? As we approach this little March audit or the March questions or the March reset, we need to remember a few things here, because what I used to do in the past, and I think a lot of people can resonate here, is often when we do this reset, we're like, okay, screw it. We're getting back on track. This is it. This is going to be like the change for me. And we tend to go either like cold turkey or like this all or nothing mindset where we're like, we're going to do this habit and this habit and this habit and this habit. I'm going to get up at 3:30 in the morning and go to bed at 7:30, and I'm going to do this and this and this, and I'm going to eat only whole foods, high protein, no carbs, no fat, like all these crazy, ridiculous goals and habits that we try to like instill to get back on the bandwagon. And I just need to say, if you were someone, again, guilty of this in the past, when I first started my health and fitness fitness journey a couple of years ago, that's exactly what I did. And you burn out. We are going to drop that all or nothing mentality. And we are going to focus on the first few small steps, the first few baby steps that are going to make the most impact. So I want you to think about what are 1 to 3 super small habits or changes that I can make in my lifestyle that are going to have a really big impact. So for myself personally, I actually had to strip everything back to basics. And what I mean by that is I had to go get myself a habit tracker journal. Said to myself, I really am starting again here, I feel. And I don't mean starting from square one. I mean restarting my engine exactly where I left off. I got myself a habit tracker and I thought to myself, you know what? I obviously need to revisit the basics again. What are the first, 1 to 3 or 1 to 5 habits I know make the biggest impact for me? I wrote them down and I am, to this day, right now, as we speak, tracking those habits until they are reinstilled into my lifestyle. And I have no shame and I'm not embarrassed to admit, sometimes I need to strip things back to basics to feel good again. So what am I focusing on? I'm doing an entire YouTube vlog on this. So if you are a YouTube girly, please subscribe to my channel, first and foremost. But second of all, that video is coming very, very soon. I have an entirely new morning routine inspired by my future self and I want to talk about that. And I have that in my habit tracker journal. But a few things that I'm doing, making my bed every morning, that makes me feel better. And guess what? I stopped doing it for a while. I came back from Japan and realized, why aren't I making my bed? I know, because I've just come back from a holiday. I didn't need to before. So I'm doing that again. I'm drinking my 2 liters of water. I dropped that while I was on holidays, came back and I'm parched. I'm so dehydrated. So we're starting that again. We are hitting our 10 to 12K steps a day as per my fitness plan, eating our macros as per my fitness plan, walking the dogs every single day. We've just come out of a cyclone and really crazy weather, so we dropped that, but I do need to pick that back up. And just a few other business related things that I need to do every single day. So for example, I'm part of an e-commerce coaching program and every single day we have to go into our meta ads and do a little bit of a sweep and have a look at the data. Boring stuff, I know, but that's part of the daily habits that I need to instill. So what are the most impactful habits that you can pick back up or instill back into your lifestyle that are going to make you feel good and make your day-to-day life feel more flowy? And you're going to start there. Maybe it's just 2, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 5. Then get yourself a habit tracker. You don't have to buy my journal if you don't want to. We have a habit tracker journal that has goal setting, habit tracking, and reflecting for every single month for an entire year. There is a discount code for the podcast. I'll leave it below. Feel free to go out and make your own. There's heaps on Pinterest that you can probably download. Not as nice as mine, low key, but you got to start somewhere. And I guess the last thing I want to touch on very quickly before we wrap this episode up, I want you to remember the best version of you is built in the moments you choose to keep going. I'll repeat that one more time. Listen in and let it land. The best version of you is built in the moments you choose to keep going. Your best version is not going to be built if you keep stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting. Now, sometimes, just like my first few months of this year, sometimes it's out of our control, right? But if you have got control over why you keep stopping and starting, this is your sign to remember your best version of you is built in the moments you chose to keep going. As I said, I'm going to actually talk a little bit further about this in a designated YouTube vlog because I don't want to blow this episode out, but I wanted this to act as a little bit of a starter, a little bit of a pep talk, and some tangible, actionable, practical things that you can go out and do right now. So you've got your journal prompt, you've got your audit questions, you've got some things to remember and to consider. It is okay if you are restarting your engine in March. I am with you here. We can do this together. Get yourself a habit tracker. Focus on the things that make you feel good, have the most impact without the overwhelm. You've got this. I've got this. We are in this together. If you need any more motivation, obviously listen into the potty, watch the YouTube videos, come on over to my Instagram to consume the free content. This is what I love to do. These are the topics I love to talk about. And I hope that today, within this podcast episode, in the Future You Diaries on the YouTube channel, in the Future You series over on my Instagram and my TikTok, that you can take something to add to your day to keep that momentum going. As always, thank you so much. I love you so much. I will see you in our next episode.